The 2 Cent Report! Good hello to all the people of the internet. At least some of you. This is the 2 Cent Report. I am Justin, aka Elsie Lupus, and I am with my good fellow human,
Tristan. But you kind of forgot the key point of this.
No, I didn't.
So you intentionally left it out?
Yes.
Alright.
Say it.
So I guess that this is just the report.
Yes.
Welcome everybody to the 2 Cent Report. I am 1 Cent Tristan. I'm here to help. I'm here to help 1 Cent Justin collect all these marbles, put them back in the bomb.
In the bomb?
I said bomb, but okay.
I was thinking of something else.
Yes, clearly.
I need to go get my sister. So, shall we kick off straight away?
Oh, yes, I'm pretty sure they're already tired of us.
Yeah, I mean, we are quite smelly.
Yeah.
Mostly you. So, the first thing is kind of solemn news. I don't know how much you really know about this. The, probably saying his name wrong, because once again, all of these are names I've only ever read, and it's Asian. And so I'm gonna fail.
It's okay to destroy them because everybody does it on YouTube.
Exactly. So
and just apologize it.
I'll just apologize.
It's not your fault for being white.
No.
Being privileged.
I did my best.
Being
when I was
brought up in
a middle class.
in a middle class home.
With
your picket fences.
I actually never had a picket fence, but I did have a concrete fence that was made to look like a picket fence.
Wow.
Also lived in a security complex. There was a flat. We had a shared laundromat.
It's very basic, eh?
Yes.
So it wasn't complex.
So, Kentaro Miura.
Okay, yes.
Apologies. He has passed away. So he is the guy who wrote Berserk, the manga.
Kentaro. Isn't that Golden Boy's name?
I think Kintaro. This is Kentaro.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, so very different.
I know, it's still anime related.
Yeah, did you ever watch Berserk? I never read it, but I watched it way late.
I did watch Berserk. I also watched the 3D.
I didn't watch that one.
Yeah. Not so good.
I heard some not great things about
it. But what is this in relation to games?
Well, he pretty much influenced all of them in Japan. Pretty much when you get anything that's got fighting in it, like your Final Fantasies and your Dark Souls, and pretty much all of those, Dragon Quest, blah blah blah. They've all been influenced by him.
He's the guy that made Japanese in love with big
fuck
swords.
Yes. The ridiculously big sword that isn't real. So yeah, quite. I'm assuming you did hear a bit about this.
No.
Didn't you?
Didn't hit my radar.
Okay, but you just knew. But you do know Berserk, obviously.
My head was in the sand. I had other things going on.
That's what they all say.
Exactly. They're probably right.
At least sometimes. But yeah, so just did you enjoy Berserk?
Yes.
It's very old, but it's great. I only watched it for the first time 2 years ago.
Really?
Yes. Wow. I know, right?
I was one of those people that watched the classics just after they had aired. Not when they were airing, but the next time, the next batch was aired. You know how they do a gap, a 2-year or 3-year gap, and then when it hits Western society, it blooms again. I watched it in that bloom.
Okay.
The second coming.
Okay, because I know that I think the original anime in Japan came out in 98. But
yeah, exactly. You see what I mean?
But it wouldn't have hit us for quite a while because we were still ignorant about, unless you were a very specific nerd in America.
No, we were still you got 2 holes in your continent, or in your island.
Well, here, to be fair, this is South Africa. So what, in the early 2000s was when we hit the boom of what we didn't even know was anime. Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Digimon, all of those came out when we were and Metabots. I love Metabots. Metabots is great. Beyblade, I never watched that one.
Yeah, but I'm just recording them now.
But all of those, which we don't even, I don't know, I don't even see them now as anime. So I'm just no, those.
Do you know when we were really hit? Is when the DSTV.
Yeah, what was it called? I never had DSTV. What was it called? You know it.
I forgot.
Anime something.
Yeah, Animax.
And I was gonna say Anime Max, and I was like, it's not Anime Max.
It's close. It's Animax.
Animax.
Yes, and that's when we were really I wouldn't say I was already watching anime long before that, but that's when they really hit the mainstream, like almost like the Attack on Titan before Attack on Titan, the Eureka 7.
Oh my god, Eureka 7.
The Wolf's Rain it got big.
Let me just for a second. Eureka 7. Eureka 7 is old now. It's like came out 2007 or something, I think. It's quite old. Maybe it's older than that. Whatever. I had a friend, not you.
2 cents report to the 2 cents Otaku report.
Quiet.
2 cents Otaku.
I did not get this from you. You're not the person. It's somebody else I know who would not shut up about Eureka 7. Wouldn't shut up about it. Carry on. So I was like, okay, fine. And then I watched it. And I forced myself to watch every single episode because I kept on going, he wouldn't be so crazy about this if it wasn't good. It has to get good eventually. And I watched, it's like 52 episodes, and I watched all of it, and I hated it so much. And now, it is literally the anime I hate more than any other. I'm like...
Because you're forced to watch it.
I was forced to watch it. And then when I finished it, and then they said, no, you must also watch that other one. There was like a Eureka something else. There was like a AO or something.
Yes, there was.
And then,
no, fuck that.
Yeah, I watched one episode and I wanted to shoot myself. I don't like Eureka 7. It literally is like, it's one of those, you know, we all have those media products that like we hear the name, we're like, oh god, okay, I have to. It just like triggers you. You're like, I have to talk about white shit. Everyone thinks it's good and it's bad.
That's why I'm glad you agreed with me about San Andreas.
Anyway, shall we move on?
Back to games,
because this otaku weirdo is whining again. So
I'm a weeb, not a otaku.
This is probably more news for... Don't conform to your stereotypes.
Sometimes you gotta go, eh? Sometimes you just, that's when the person gets really upset and they start speaking in their native language.
Yeah.
And people think it's funny, but...
It means you're person.
My native language is to make others bleed.
How South African of you.
Gotta represent.
So, next one is pretty much all for me, because I'm selfish that way. So, Axiom Verge. Did you ever play Axiom Verge?
No.
Yeah. Have you even heard of Axiom Verge? Okay, you've heard of it. You know what it is?
No, I've heard it as okay, I might be completely wrong here, but it was
no, continue.
Wasn't it on console first?
I don't think so. I think it probably would have been a PC first.
So you think, okay, then I have no clue what it is.
Okay, so it's a side-scrolling Metroidvania, but it's sci-fi. It was made by one dude. Like, everything was made by just one guy. So it's like one of those Undertale stories, but not Undertale, obviously.
Or Minecraft.
Well, he still ended up having, like, a team after a while.
After a while?
Yeah. Whereas this guy did it all himself from start to finish. So anyway, it's just a game that like I'd always wanted to play, and then I played it finally. Fucking loved it. It's basically just, it's a sci-fi Metroidvania story. It's great. But anyway, the second one has been delayed, which is sad for me.
You are such a softie when it comes to these Metroidvania games.
I love Metroidvania games. I finished Hollow Knight a while back and it was delightful. It was lovely.
You need a hobby, like a proper hobby.
It's called gaming. And next I'm going to play that other Metroidvania, whose name I will remember. I'm not clicking on Steam and going to Unplayed and quickly scrolling down and talking like I'm not doing anything.
He's just moving slowly. He's making it look like his list is long.
And Ori and the Blind Forest is the one I'm going to play next. And Ori and the Blind Forest is beautiful. Have you heard of that one?
Yes.
You've heard of that one, you see? Yes.
Bitch.
So anyway, Axiom Verge 2 got delayed. But the cool thing actually was that a documentary that was made about the first game has now been released for free. I think it was only for like Kickstarter people, which is quite cool.
So then it's not free.
Well, now it's free.
Well, as soon as it gets to them and they upload it, then it's free.
Well, no, this was back in the day.
Okay,
it was part of like the Kickstarter, yeah. But now it's been released for free onto YouTube, And I have linked it will be in the description.
Down below. Because we're in YouTube. We forget these things.
We do forget these things. Anyway.
Which is why our videos are being buried.
Yeah. It's because of the neoliberal agenda. I'm just saying words. I found an absolutely beautiful
You probably triggered somebody on the couch now. It's like...
I did discover a absolutely beautiful website today that literally just does... It generates randomized titles to like right-wing videos. It's hilarious. It's beautiful.
Those kind of things are like funny for that moment.
Yes. No, you click it 3 times, and then it is infinite. So it's a random generator. So eventually you go, yeah, okay, it's done now. But it was still delightful for the 2 minutes I spent clicking on random.
Seriously, a hobby.
Yes.
A hobby, not just gaming, because gaming's your life, not your hobby.
I'm just going to ignore you. So, we're now done with Metroidvanias. How dare you? It means getting my hands dirty. Ew. What do I look like? A basic white woman? I'm not going to do fucking pottery.
Listeners, if you could see him, you would understand.
So, we're done talking about Metroidvanias. So let's talk about another Metroidvania, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
You just teared this up just for your own. Okay, carry on.
I did. So anyway, a new one has been by mistake announced.
Woo!
You see, this is why your people.
Yep. Here it comes.
Anyway, so Bloodstained 2 apparently is being released. I didn't actually finish Bloodstained 1 because I played like 13 hours and then I played something else and then I forgot to go back and then...
You just caused it, guys.
I just caused it, but I didn't really like it.
That's what he said about number 2.
Okay, now we genuinely are done with Metroidvanias. So let's rather talk about J.J. Abrams.
Okay, fine.
Do you know who J.J. Abrams is?
Yes. Is the director?
Yes.
I'm right.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
You're right. The director of what?
Yeah? Of movies. This is awesome, dude. That directs movies.
So he's your favorite person?
No.
Yeah, he is. Really? You love him. Yes, because he directed the first and the last Star Wars sequels.
Why do I love him?
Because you keep on being annoyed by those movies.
You understand how I do not appreciate this.
No, he's an amazing director. He made something like Lost. He didn't know what he was...
for God's sake, don't tell me he's going to start making Resident Evil movies.
No, of course not. But he did Lost, which was great, except he didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
And yet it was great?
So, no, great. Season 1 was great. And then you could see he was making shit up as he went along. And there was no plan. But kind of like the Star Wars sequels. There was no plan. Which actually recently, this is not in the description, but he did recently say, I probably should have had a plan going into the Star Wars sequels. And people were like, no fucking shit. Anyway, so this man, amazing creator that he is, that you love, I love. He also made Fringe, which was good for 1 season. 2 seasons. It was good for 2 seasons. Do you ever watch Fringe?
It's a bit shorter, right? What? I'm just thinking back. It was quite short. It was. I think I look back at it and I think like, wow, it was so long ago. And then I think to myself, I don't remember watching it, but I remember the episodes.
Yeah, Fringe had 2 really good seasons, and then it got stupid. So anyway,
I probably faded out about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, this is what he likes to do, right? He starts off with a good idea, and then it gets progressively worse. Anyway, he's been making a Portal movie.
Well, thank goodness it's only 2 sources, so let's just hope it doesn't get worse anymore. It's not like he's going to make a trilogy out of it. Dun-dun. Edit here. Edit old video. This one right here.
So that's not all a worry. It's J.J. Abrams. He's always made good decisions with regard to filmmaking.
I'm not happy about this news, but
no. Why would you be?
I'm more annoyed at Valve
for allowing it to happen.
No, for giving it to the wrong guy.
Okay. It could have been better, Tristan, because back in the day, a certain director announced that he was really happy to be making a Half-Life game. And then Valve came forward and said, he is not making a Half-Life game. We don't know where he got this from. We're ball. So it could have been worse.
I don't like that idea. I really don't like that idea.
Of him making a Half-Life movie?
Of him making any more movies.
He doesn't make movies anymore.
Exactly.
He owns a restaurant.
He should be shot. I'm sorry. The restaurant could be fucking amazing, but he should be shot.
The thing that I loved the most about him was that he tried to kickstart a movie and it failed. I wonder why. So he couldn't get his movie made. And so he posted like a thing, telling the whole internet, you go fuck yourself. You don't know what fucking art is, you fucking assholes. That was his last video on Kickstarter. It was great.
Thank you.
He's a great man.
No, he's not. He's not. He should have... He's a horrible person.
The things that trigger Tristan.
He's a horrible, horrible person.
Okay.
A cinematic nightmare.
So, that's Portal.
I'll
news.
take Shamama Lama Sama. He can make a Portal movie with a twist.
Not every movie needs a twist. Although Portal does have a twist at the end.
No,
like
but a bigger twist.
A bigger twist.
Yeah.
It turned out that it was actually Half-Life all along. It wasn't actually a Portal movie.
No. Obviously, everybody knows that Aperture is part of the same universe.
Okay, fine. Maybe it turns out that the entire thing... Can't get this. This has never been done.
No.
It turned out, Tristan, it was all a dream.
No.
That's never been done before.
No. This twist is special.
Okay.
It's not. It was all a dream. It was all a simulation.
Okay. And then at the end, you just see Elon Musk taking off VR goggles.
No, Elon.
Yes.
That's all you need. Just
Elon.
Remember from Half-Life 2?
You mean Eli?
Yes. It's even worse. I recently played through the Half-Life. I don't know. Number 3 has to be with the aperture science with the Borealis.
Yes.
So that's all I know. I think there was that mod where a person tried to make Half-Life 3.
Although I did recently watch something about Half-Life Alyx. And from what I learned there, no spoilers, but from what I learned watching that video, it seems that there will definitely be an episode 3.
Of course there's going to be an episode 3. Do you know why? Money. Money.
So anyway, now we're even talking about Alyx. There's an Alyx thing. So originally, when they were doing, because I don't know how much you know about their VR headset thing. It also has like handles. And you can move your fingers.
Yes.
Okay. They originally wanted to have a thing where you could flip off guards and they get angry at you and start attacking you.
That's nice.
They didn't do it, sadly. But they wanted to do it. But I think it became a logistical difficulty. But I mean, that's quite fun. Flip people off.
I loved seeing how they managed to get that Coco on whiteboard. That to me was so special.
Yes.
To be able to do that. And then I went, obviously being an artist and stuff, I went and I got immersed into the 3D pens.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's such messy art, but it can be done really well. But at the same time I'm not an artist on a new wave. I'm a traditional artist. I sit on my ass.
Traditional artists with new devices.
I would sit on my ass and do my thing. I'm not trying to walk around a room. That's like people are like, are you going to get VR? No. I will get VR when I can lay down and I don't have to move because I'm lazy. I don't want to, oh yes, let me go and play VR and then I want to play a game. What game do you want to play? I don't know, an RPG.
I think also something that's fucked up about VR, as it is with, not with all of it, but like say with Valve's thing, because they have like the hand movement things and you're supposed to have like a room without shit in the way.
Yeah.
Which, first off, is quite a big ask of most people. But there's that thing where if there's even a tiny bit of horror in VR, it's fucking terrifying because you're like actually there. And then some asshole touches you in real life.
That sounds like a you problem, though.
You see, this is why you have to like lock yourself into a room before you, because otherwise someone will sneak and you won't hear them because you're wearing headphones.
Yes, it's your happy room. Don't you have one of those? Mine's the
No,
bathroom.
I don't. I don't have doors in my house.
You do. The one to go out the front, the one to go out the back.
And there's a bathroom door, so you see.
And you've got cupboards.
And I suppose the fridge has a door.
Exactly. You've got many doors. You just didn't notice.
Oh God. You know, I'm actually going to swap these stories around because the one after the next one is about Valve. So let's just do Valve first.
Okay.
Valve.
Yes.
A company.
Yes.
They
Not just a company.
Yes, they're a steamy company.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So they also made Half-Life Alyx.
That's gas. Gas-powered games. You remember that?
They want to do handheld. Well, they call them a handheld console, but they don't actually call it a console. They call it a handheld PC, which is a console. But
the closest you're gonna get is a laptop or a console. You gotta pick.
You gotta fucking pick one. You can't be like, oh, it's a handheld PC. What, a phone? But yeah,
my MP3 player was a handheld PC.
It's sort of been leaked. It isn't like an official thing, but it's been called the Steam Pal, which I literally just watched a movie in which there's a robot uprising, and it's a company called PAL Labs. So I'm like, that doesn't bode very well for Steam's little.
Well, China has Skynet. That does the exact same thing. That is
actually very fucking true.
Yeah,
they do have Skynet. And I watched a thing where the guy for Skynet, they were like, "You do know Skynet's the evil thing in Terminator?" And they're like, "Yes, but ours is a good one." Well, that fucking, thank Christ.
It's not their fault. It's a good name.
It is a good name, but it would be like being, I don't know. We decided that we were going to make like a nice B&B. And we were going to call it Auschwitz. Like, don't do that.
I'm going to be rich. Keep on going. These are great ideas. I'll be, pro-Semitic.
Pro-Semitic, God. Which actually just kind of makes you sound more like...
Jews come in, but they never want to leave.
Well, to me, it actually kind of seems like... If you say pro-Semitic, it sounds like someone who's like really, really good. It's like the Jewish Pope. But a rabbi would be a prost.
That's really funny. It is an occupation and a religion and a culture. It's his own thing.
And Tristan's
Come on
insulting
down
it with
to
all of
Auschwitz. We pride ourselves on our Matchbox collection.
You see, this is why we shouldn't talk about China, because then it's just going to become derailed. So, let's just move on. Well, what do you think about this whole idea of this
Steam Pal?
A handheld computer, which is a revolutionary idea. We hadn't had phones or consoles before this.
You remember when Steam tried to do that console thing?
Yes. They were just computers.
You know what I feel? It's very Google-esque in the approach here. It's super undercover. It's going to be that thing that revolutionizes because you can get your Steam games on the console. I get that. But porn is easier to watch on the computer.
Well, I disagree.
You think it's easier on the Steam console?
No. I think that porn is easier on a phone.
Okay, no, but that's my thing.
Yeah. Why would I use a computer? That has like a big keyboard.
What has the thing is, I get it, but you're not gonna get a person on a PC to buy it.
No,
because they've got a PC.
Yeah.
You might not get the console people to buy it because the console people love their fucking consoles.
Well, the thing is, because it's supposed to be a handheld console, right? Which currently Nintendo kind of has that market cornered with the Switch.
Yeah, but
so people would just buy a Switch.
Yeah, but here's the problem. The how do I say, the Switch, its market is 3 games.
That is very true.
Okay.
Although a lot of games are coming to it, but they're like older games. So people are like, oh yes, I can play The Witcher 3 on Switch, and you're like, yeah, that came out 6 years ago. But cool.
My thing is the Steam platform, whatever it tries to do, the console, the handheld. My thing is this. It will be the master of backwards compatibility, because I mean, if you own the game on Steam, you can play it on the device. You can play it on the console. You can play it probably on the handheld.
Yeah.
Now my thing is it's just that it will be the one and all of access to games, and that's their like their go-to, their niche that they're trying to get into. My only problem is that's exactly why people also go for PC.
Yeah.
It's just that PC gives you more access to stuff.
Yes.
I mean, I work on my computer and then I play games on it.
Yeah, that's also this always makes me laugh when people are like, oh, but a PC is so much more expensive than a console. I'm like, I don't just use it to play games. I do literally all my work on it. I watch everything on it. I watch like Netflix and shit on there. Why would I use consoles only for games? That's its sole function.
Because you can't put ad blockers on your YouTube if you're on console. Okay, guys,
see,
welcome to PC.
You see, so that's like the thing. I'm like, so whenever I hear that, it's the same as the story we always got told when we worked at a certain video store that, oh no, but Netflix isn't worth it because you also have to buy the internet. I use it for more than fucking Netflix.
The justification, oh yeah, you need to get internet before you can use Netflix. And like you do.
I already have internet.
So how's that TV license going for you?
Well, they I don't know if you know about the proposals.
The that you have to in order to buy a console in this country, you have to have a TV license.
No, they're now wanting to go after Netflix.
Oh yes, I know about that. Yeah,
Netflix accounts. So it should be fun.
Yeah,
I think one of the things it's like
the most irrelevant thing in this world right now. TV license.
I think one of the shitty things, I suppose, for them trying to figure out, well, we always made money off of these TV license things. The problem is that now everyone has what can function as a TV in their pockets.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and we can't like do a TV license on those because that isn't their primary function. Phone's primary function is not to be...
But the TV license was supposed to pay for the infrastructure and the government channels. That's your TV license. But if I don't use the country's infrastructure and I don't watch the government channels, why do I need a TV license? Also, a TV license doesn't grant you access to a TV. It just helps pay off the... Yeah. You know what? You can get fucked.
Yeah. Anyway. Seeing as actually we're talking about it right now, actually... I'm going to skip that story again. We're going to circle back. Switch Pro got leaked by mistake, which would be the new Switch. And people were... I saw this a lot on Twitter because I find it funny. And people were like, what the fuck is wrong with Nintendo? Called the Switch Pro. Call it the Super Switch. Like the Super NES. You cowards. So yeah. It's gotten leaked. People think it's going to be.
Maybe they're going to. Maybe the Super's coming.
Maybe we'll have to see. But it was leaked, so we know it's going to be there. But we think it's going to be officially announced at E3. But this also happens.
E3.
That relevant thing.
Shame.
I just remember. Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. The ESA, which is the Entertainment Software Association, they run E3. And they're like the main lobbying group. They're the people who do like the ratings, 12, violence, sex, whatever. That. Do you want to say something?
I was going to say, how relevant are they? Because
the reason those exist is so that government doesn't start regulating. So that is still very important because otherwise governments will regulate.
Yes.
And you don't want that.
Yes, but I mean, like, even if governments regulate, that only hurts the sales of the publishers.
Yes, but they don't want that to happen.
It doesn't hurt the consumer at all.
No, it doesn't, but it hurts the publishers. That's why they don't want that. But the ESA also runs E3. Now, they've been trying to figure out how to make E3 worthwhile for a while, but either last year or the year before, I can't remember. They accidentally doxed all the journalists who came to like 4 of their years. They accidentally leaked because to get a pass to go to E3, you have to give your real name, your address, your like email, and like credit card information, and that all just got leaked by the ESA by mistake. And so, if
wait, how does it get? Did someone steal it, or did someone just post it online by accident?
The ESA accidentally left a portal open that you could go into that usually has a password. And
so it wasn't leaked. It was stolen.
It was a mistake.
It wasn't picked up by them. It was taken by someone else.
Well, it was a mistake on ESA's part. But then people obviously...
But they didn't leak it.
Well, they didn't leak it. No. But
the person who stole it leaked it.
Perhaps. But it still doesn't stop the fact that they had shit security. And so it got out. And this is several years worth of... And it wasn't like somebody was trying to hack them. They just... Like anyone could do it. People were like... Journalists were like, oh yeah, no, I can just go and look at people's personal information. I can just look at... And then they closed it quickly. But the damage had been done. Yeah. So how many games journalists had their real lives actually affected by the ESA? So fuck the ESA. If they can't handle...
Games journalists. Those pretentious assholes that get invited to events, don't have to pay for it, gets trips around the world to go watch these things.
Don't be one of those people, Tristan.
I don't mind.
They get paid like shit.
They get paid for their journalism.
They get paid for their journalism like shit.
They get paid for their journalism.
Yes.
Then how is it free?
Advertising.
No, because but the thing is, when it comes to information, if there's any sort of influence with money, how do you know that information is legit?
Well, it depends on which information you're talking about and from what source.
I mean, there were people that actually said that San Andreas was a good game.
Yes, some of us did, Tristan. Little bitch. But the thing is, you do get, like, proper... Okay, there's pretty much, like, 2 people who are, like, proper investigative journalists.
I would love to get hate mail.
They get, like, hardcore hate mail.
Yeah, I would love to, because like, someone actually cares so much about me to take some time to write whatever they felt on a note and send it to me. And if it's anthrax, then I could be like, someone took the time to source anthrax.
I think it's more like usually you just get bombarded with Twitter messages and hate things on that, and people try and dox you. Or you know, people actually show up at your house, which is maybe a little bit more scary.
Okay, someone showing up at my house in South Africa,
okay,
you're going to get shot.
That's the difference.
Good luck.
To us, we'd be like, oh yeah, fuck you, we're in South Africa. But in the States, it's a bit easier because you can go anywhere.
I mean, they have porch pirates in the States. Do you know what's a good solution? Be home. Or if you can't, did you know that our delivery services deliver to our work now? So you can get your package at work.
Yes.
That's a good solution to dropping it off outside your house. Like a fucking lunatic.
But, like, you don't want your shit sent to, like, work. You think I want all my things to be dropped off at my job as a teacher?
Your house.
My vibrators, it all gets dropped off.
Yeah, but it's in a package.
It's in a package, maybe.
You're not going to see it.
But then they open it and they go, Justin got the extra King Deluxe size.
I can tell you this. First of all, if someone else is opening your mail...
Mm-hmm.
Find a better place to send it to, because that's equivalent to a porch pirate. And if he did send it to your house and the porch pirate did steal it, they're gonna have the exact same reaction, so they can go fuck themselves. I'm trying to talk about stop being dumb. Go pick your shit up from the mail.
Oh God, no!
Office.
I would rather people read it through my mail than have to actually go to a delivery depot.
You really don't. No, I'm not talking about delivery depot. I'm talking about, for us, would be the post office.
Yes, I would rather die than go to the post office. Who wants to go to a fucking post office?
You look like one of those guys that hang outside, like Jay and Silent Bob outside a post office. That's you.
You know what? I went to a post office. I went to a post office the other day. It was probably like a few months ago. But you know, time is a mush. And I get there to pick up my thing, which wasn't mine. I was picking up for someone else, and they were like, cool, so that'll be 250 rand. And I was like, oh, fuck.
I ordered it online. I paid for the shipping.
Yeah.
And now you want me to pay for collection.
Yeah.
What I do?
Burn the place down.
No, I just, if I order something and I know I'm not going to be home, right? I'll contact my parents and stuff and say, look, I'm ordering it. Can you hold it for me? Because I can trust my parents when look at it. That's nothing. But that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, if you're ordering something and you can't trust the people at work, you're not going to fucking trust the people on the side of the road, are you?
Well, I mean, here, I don't know if they can. Can we get?
No.
We have to.
There was a bit of news. Our delivery services, well, people are faking our delivery services and are robbing people, claiming that they have a package to go into the office to drop it off, and then they rob them blind.
Clever.
Yeah. So we can't even trust that anymore. So if what the thing is with our delivery
new career
service,
path for me, Tristan.
whether it's going to be invasive or not, they're going to show up on time. Their time is between 8 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the evening.
It's like a
Any
wedding.
time to them between that is on time.
It's like a plumber. I will be there on Thursday, maybe Friday. Make sure you're home.
But that'll be the same thing if you're going to order something, or be like, oh man, I hate. I get it. People can't all have the space for mailbox and stuff, and you get
I don't have mailbox.
Those wall-mounted ones, and then some person orders like a lamp, and it's like, oh yeah, well you can just pop it into the box.
I got home like 2 days ago, and there was a guy dropping off. You know that the people who just drop off the local newspaper. So I don't even know which newspaper it was here, but they just drop off the local newspaper. And shame, I was watching this guy from like a little ways up the road. He was trying to look for a post box.
Because we've removed one of ours. And
then he just kind of like threw it over the wall. And I like walked up to him, and he just turned around. I think he got a bit of a fright, because he literally was like leaning over a wall, dropping it, because he was trying to keep it like neat. And he turns, and I'm like there, and I'm like, don't worry about it, man, it's fine. And he's like, what? Like, I live here.
Was it your house? I thought it was your house. I thought it was someone else's house. Yeah, no. It was your house. Oh yeah, you don't have a post box.
Yeah, I don't have a post box.
Set up a fucking post box, you asshole.
So anyway, shall we move on to the next thing?
Yes, please.
I can finally loop back to that thing which I missed earlier. So Netflix wants to get into the games industry.
KFC like vibes, or?
No, that they want to. Apparently, it seems like they want to go a similar route to the Apple Arcade thing. So they want to try and do like basically a Netflix. They want to have a subscription service, and you can, I suppose, download games and play them. I don't know.
So like Xbox Live.
Yeah. Like that.
Or like the PlayStation one. What's it called?
PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Or like owning a Nintendo.
Pretty much. So
like everybody else.
Like everybody else, exactly. They're trying to get in on it, but they don't make games. So it's a bit of an interesting. I mean, they made Bandersnatch, so
they might acquire studios that will.
Maybe. So that should be interesting.
The Adam Sandlers of studios might opt in.
The Adam Sandlers of studios.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest star on Netflix.
I keep on forgetting that he's signed to Netflix.
Yes.
I haven't watched an Adam. Okay, well, I watched Uncut Gems, but he didn't write that. He just starred. So it's not an Adam Sandler movie. It doesn't count. I haven't watched an Adam Sandler movie since Click.
Wow, that's far back.
Yeah, it was primary school.
No, good on you. Yeah, good on you.
But Uncut Gems. Have you seen Uncut Gems?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because that he didn't write that. He just starred in it.
He just whined in it.
God,
I've got all the stuff. Oh, I'm gonna fuck my life up.
That movie
constant stress. That man.
That movie is stress, because it never fucking stops. You're just like, oh my god. Like, he gets money, and then he goes and gambles, and you're like, Jesus, man, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Exactly. You're like, oh my fuck, you are. And then he wants to impress the guy, so he shows off his most precious item.
And then he's like, yeah, you can't buy it.
Yeah. Like,
Jesus.
You don't say no, you're that intimidated too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That movie is so tiring.
It is. After that, you feel like you've been through.
It's exhausted. It's so tiring to watch it. You're just like,
Also, the Western you recommended.
Buster Scruggs. Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
The one with the limbless boy. The one with the Liam Neeson is the father.
Yeah, the performer guy.
That is the actor that plays Harry Potter's cousin.
Is it?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes, it is. I knew I recognized his face.
Well done. Whenever that happens, especially also when you sometimes recognize a voice and you're like, like there's one which fucked me up. You know Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes.
There's one episode, I think it's 2 episodes, where there's a character, and I was like, I know your voice. Who are you? It's Jerry from Rick and Morty, the dad. But actually acting.
What you mean Saul Figgis?
Yes,
from
Saul Figgis.
yes.
And I was just like, because I was like, I recognize that voice. I do, but I don't know you. I've never seen you. And then I was like, oh my god, it's Jerry.
And he doesn't look like any of those characters.
Oh, anyway.
No, but his voice is very. For me, it's like I know, like there.
I think it's
Archer's ruined me.
I think if I hear it in like an animated thing, then I immediately am like, oh, it's him. But I think because I was seeing a physical person, I was like, I know your voice.
What I find funny is that a voice that feels so well tailored for a character. When you see the original, now when it's
Archer's fucking voice actor.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Is when you see the person and you're like, okay, he's putting on a persona, he's putting on a voice. Most of them do that, but when he's so noticeable by his own way of speaking, that's when we get that moment where you're like, that can't be the guy that voices him because.
Except there's one person who extremely does look like you've seen Gravity Falls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Gravity Falls?
Oh, I'm thinking of which person?
Mabel.
Yes, but I think that was actually not the case because the guy that wrote it, his sister, I believe, was the one that Mabel was done after because she was the one that wore the jerseys and stuff. I may be like putting this out of my ass, but I believe I actually looked something up or watched something that explained that to me. Like there's actually a connection.
Yeah, but the voice actress isn't. But she looks like the voice. I think so. She looks kind of like adorable, but she has that.
I know that person.
Yes.
Where did I see her?
And also, that's her real voice. That's. The Mabel voice is her normal speaking voice.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
also, you might recognize her. She was in Big Fat Quiz a couple of times.
Not just that. She was in a series that I remember very fondly. I can't remember the name now. But yes, also in Weird Al's Taki music video. No, I've seen it quite a few times. But when you talk about actors,
Flight of the Conchords,
when you talk about actors who look like their voice, the persona that they're putting on, you got to give it to old Kronk. What is his name? That actor. It's gonna drive
Patrick Warburton.
Here we go.
He does. He does.
Actually, more so. I think honestly, I'm not a big Family Guy. Anything. But you know, like you can tell when a role is designed for him.
Yes.
And when he's put himself into that role.
Yes.
Who else? Who else has just says nothing is? I won't classify Morgan Freeman as one because Morgan Freeman's voice is not a character. It is Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
So they can play characters meant for their voice.
David Attenborough.
I mean, I would love to be able to do his voice. Like I said, recently I've been watching just documentaries like that. Life in Color, I think it is, or something like that. Yeah. It was great, and I realized this man is old, and a lot of his stuff has become more and more aggressive when trying to like tell people, hey, we need to save the earth.
Yeah.
But I remember having a dual box cassette thing. So you open it up, and there was one cassette, another cassette.
Yes.
And I can't remember the one, but I remember there was like a picture of an orca going...
Maybe like Blue Planet or something like that?
Maybe.
Yeah.
And that used to be my bread and butter. Until our cassette player broke. I was like, yeah, shame piece. I watched that and only... That was my thing. That was everything that meant to me was that show. And I used to watch it when I was bored, when I wanted to do something, or when I wanted to go to sleep.
Well, I think his voice is great for going to sleep too.
Yes.
Very good for it. It's like Bob Ross. See, very soothing.
I would say it is, but Bob Ross, personally, I find too interesting to fall asleep to.
Okay, the reason Bob Ross is difficult to fall asleep to is his voice is very soothing, but it ends and he's like, and God bless you.
Yeah, like I said.
And then you shit yourself.
You remember the time when you used to get shit like that? Oh my god.
I'm getting a whole bunch of irritating things from Asus, which I think is a terrible
Asus.
name.
It's not Asus.
It's Asus.
No, it's pronounced.
It can't be Asus. That sounds stupid.
It's pronounced Asus.
I'm just gonna go with anus.
It's like my old boss used to pronounce Samsung as Samsung.
Yeah.
And you're like, why? I asked him why. It's like, because they don't have songs in their names. And I'm like,
You know what? It reminds me. There's a video, and it's about the guy who insists on correctly pronouncing everything to the point where it kind of feels racist. And they're at like a restaurant, and he's just like, "Oh yes, I think I would like some pasta, but maybe we should rather have some sushi."
There's a difference between getting the dialect right and then putting on a fucking stereotypical performance.
He does the whole, but like everything, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing? This is fucking like it's offensive." And he's like, "What? No, it isn't. Maybe we should go for some tapas." And they're like, "Tapas." And he's like, "Oh, that's what I said, tapas." It's a great video.
It's like a certain parent at a petrol station.
Let's move on. So, let's talk about the best video game company. EA.
I've actually
been
playing a lot of their stuff. Yes.
So, they've decided to just delist a whole bunch of their games from digital platforms, just gone forever, because fuck you.
Well, not if you're a pirate, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Carbon, Undercover, Shift 2, and The Run. Carbon, but not Most Wanted, because people get pissed off they got rid of.
No, but the thing is, Carbon was where Most Wanted should have gone, but was executed just badly.
Yeah.
So I understand that, but they did bring back the neon system and all of that people be bitching about wasn't in Most Wanted.
Yeah, that was also one of my things. I love Most Wanted. Fuck, that game was wonderful. I watched like an hour and a half long retrospective about.
But now
I fucking restarted your earlier computer. Fuck yourself.
Stop arguing with your machine. With Most Wanted, it's one of those moments where you remember yourself as whatever state you were in at the time, listening to the music, riding around really fast, that adrenaline rush when the cops get into the race, because they're going to be in the race.
Yeah.
So when they get into the race and then knowing how to sort them out and then finishing the race first and then still getting rid of the cops, that was like the bread and butter of that. But now I can't play 2 missions in that game without going, I'm done.
You know though, there's something I miss. It's also about the old Westwood days, the live action. The cheesy as fuck live action. I tried
to play Red Alert 2 the other day, and I was just like, no.
You know what though? What's great about it, I have, just for fun, just watched the cutscenes on YouTube, because they're just great. Comrade General! And then Yuri comes out, he's like, yes, Comrade General. And they're all just putting on the worst performances, and I love them. It's cheesy as fuck, and it's beautiful, Tristan.
A lot of those actors needed that gig to get into porn.
Also, I don't know which one it was, but I've just seen this, but it was Tim Curry. I don't know if you know Tim Curry.
Oh, I know Tim Curry.
Okay, he was in one of the Red Alerts, or Command & Conquer, I don't know which one. Mm-hmm. But I just saw, because I never
No, but he
that
comes
one.
in as like, it's like, what was happening is like the future changed.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was a thing, and then he comes in. Yeah, I remember.
But I haven't actually played the one that he's in, but I just saw a clip of him once, and it's just him saying, "We're going to space!" And I was like, oh, Red alert. Because it's beautiful. So anyway, yes, so that's just some things being delisted, which is depressing.
Well, EA, you're your own worst enemy. We know this.
Well, the next, yes.
They need to make space for the next FIFA coming out.
Exactly, which also we're going to talk about FIFA later.
Oh, fuck. I did mention that Origin still has Sims and FIFA.
We're saving things till the end, don't worry. So, before that, this is just something quite cool. I don't know if you ever actually played Time Splitters.
You ask me that every time. Yes.
And I can't remember what your answer is.
Well, the last time it was about them putting it inside.
Yes, I forgot about that. They put it in
Front
2, yes, which is great. So you haven't already played. We haven't played it, huh?
Well, I now have access to a PlayStation 2.
That's actually true. You should give it a try. Only Time Splitters 2.
So far, all I've done is play Ratchet and Clank and play SSX Tricky, and I'm having a blast.
But no, give it a try. Only number 2, not number 1. One's kind of shit. Basically, they just refined the formula for number 2. It's much better. It's also one of those games that does that thing which seemed to be quite in vogue back in the day, but not so much, where the difficulty settings would change the level and make it longer. Where it would be like, you get this level, if you play on easy, you only have to do say you have to infiltrate the base and then destroy it and escape. And if you're playing on medium, you have to infiltrate the base, get into a deeper place, steal something, then blow up the base and escape. And on hard, it turns out that there's actually zombies break out, and it's a whole, and then on expert it's even more. So the level gets bigger.
Yeah, but you know what I'm thinking, hey? What I'm thinking about that is, my God, have games gotten lazy? Let's just give the AI more resources. Let's just make it insta kill on shot.
Time Splitters 2 is fucking inventive. It is so much good
crazy.
Shit. You must play it. But what's just really, really cool is that Free Radical Design, who were the devs, they shut down long ago. Doesn't actually say when, but they shut down long ago. But they were acquired by THQ Nordic.
I love THQ.
Yeah, so it was acquired by them. And they have put the original founders, they've given them back the company.
Oh, and really? So, yes, the company?
They've reformed Free Radical Design with the original people, and they're like, cool, so people are like, oh my God. The last Time Splitters was in 2008. Been a while.
Supernatural had already aired.
I'm wrong. The last one was 2005. They released a different game in 2008, and then that didn't do well.
Well, that's about the same time. That's the same year as Supernatural. I'm still holding on.
So the entirety of Supernatural has ended in the time of state.
Yes. Now, that's why I chose that one specifically to put it in focus, guys.
But that's just really cool. I know you don't really know the game yet. You have an emulator. You should give it a try. But that's just really cool. That they're just you can have the license back. It's imagine how cool it must have also been for is it In Exile? I think In Exile, they're the old devs that made Fallout 1 and 2. But the reason they made Fallout 1 and 2 was because they couldn't get the license for Wasteland, which they had made before. And then, fucking 30 years later, they somehow got the license for Wasteland, and they were like, cool, we're going to make Wasteland 2. That's why there's a Wasteland 2, but no one ever talks about Wasteland 1, because Wasteland 1 came out in 1988. And Fallout is literally a spiritual successor to Wasteland. So this is, and that must be awesome, imagine.
Wow. Oh, how the turns have tabled.
Exactly.
There's no other way to think it, eh?
So.
Wait. Who's given it back to them? Who did they buy it from? The license for Wasteland? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
Do you know if they're owned by a studio?
They've now been bought up, yes, but they're one of Microsoft's many indie acquisitions.
Oh, okay. So now they own the people that came up with Fallout, and they own the people that made it better. And now they own the people that are known for Fallout. They're
they own the original devs of Wasteland, and the devs of Fallout, because those guys went and formed Obsidian. And also, but there's something. They got the whole.
They were like, okay, we need an idea. Like, you know that meme? Like,
Yes.
What do we need to do? Let's buy out all the stores. All the studios.
It fucking works.
How about you just come up with a different game?
So, last time, I think it was just starting then, the Apple versus Epic lawsuit.
Yes.
So we kind of, we got the stories that we spoke about, like how much they paid for things. So now the lawsuit has officially come to an end. But a verdict hasn't been reached yet, so the judge still has to give a verdict. But this is just to say that it is now over, so maybe by next time we'll have a verdict on who's the winner.
But Epic lost.
Well, yeah.
It's.
But there were a couple of things which were really fucking irritating because Apple are whiny little bitches, and so what did Apple decide to do? Well, they were like, well, we need to try and discredit Epic, so they started saying shit like, well, do you know what you can get on Epic? You can get the
Lyme disease.
You can get the itch.io like store through Epic. And you know what's on itch? Porn games. Epic are porn people. And you're like, Jesus fuck, Apple, really? No one cares. It's just porn. Yeah, and you know what? Lots of people have iPhones. Do you know what they use your browser for? Porn. That's why
a lot of porn is edited on Mac.
Exactly, and that's also why when you click on it and it goes, oh look, it's a Safari. I think it's called the browser.
Safari.
It doesn't say there's not incognito mode. There's private mode. What do people use private mode for, Apple? Why did you put it on your system? But yeah, they're a bunch of puritanical assholes. So it's just whiny and irritating, and I'm like, oh fuck you. You know.
I mean, we know this.
Yes.
They decided to make their store just white and a whole lot of light with glass, being new age.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
And inspired the see-through toilet. What a great invention.
Well, I mean, what else are you gonna do?
How to get back at Windows? Build giant stores using lots of windows.
So, there was one story which I forgot to load up, and I need to look at specific titles.
But why do I not have internet? Try and go for that one. Yes. You want me to do it so that the internet doesn't know my Wi-Fi password?
Yes, because as we know, you all know where he lives. Because he's not afraid of you.
But my friends, I hope my friends listen to this. They will know.
That's what they all wish. But they're all a bunch of losers.
Mm-hmm. Including the friend that's hosting this with me.
Fuck off. Alright. So anyway, the next story, this is... Okay. The way that I wrote the little... I don't know if you looked at this before, but the way I wrote the little heading thing is a little bit bitchy, but I think it's funny. ROM site took on Nintendo without a lawyer. Lost.
Wait, why would they try to take on Nintendo?
Basically because, Nintendo doesn't like ROM sites.
Yes.
So they try to take them. So I think that Nintendo was the one that went after them. But then they were like, well, then we're going to take you on without a lawyer. And Nintendo's like, well, obviously we have lawyers. Why the fuck wouldn't you use a lawyer?
One of them is probably named Mario.
So the ROM site lost, and now they have to pay $2.1 million in a summary judgment.
I wish he had a link to the past.
This is why we can't have nice things, Tristan. So that's just...
It's a stretch, but you might get thrown to the Kirby.
So that's kind of shit, isn't it? Also, this is what it says here. It's owned by a guy named Matthew Storman, and he claimed that his site generated between $30,000 and $36,000 in revenue in 2019, and now he has to pay $2.1 million. So that's kind of shit. But yeah,
he deserves it. No. I'm honestly going to be real with you. You only deserve to be a pirate if you're smart.
I mean, he owned the ROM site.
No. You only can be a pirate if you're smart. If you're a stupid pirate, do you know what happens to stupid pirates? Nobody knows. And why? Because nobody wrote about them because they were stupid and they probably died before even becoming pirates. And if they weren't pirates, they were pirates by accidents, by circumstantial happenings. That's how they became pirates. Their grandmother wanted to load up Office on her computer, and they just got the wrong one.
Yeah, but this is why I would probably say, if ever, Tristan, you find yourself in a situation where you're going to go into a legal battle with a conglomerate, get a lawyer.
No, I wouldn't. I'll just disappear.
You'll just disappear.
The same amount of money I'm going to be end up paying for that lawyer, I might as well just disappear.
True. You could get like a public defender, the one that the state provides for you. We have those. I don't know if they're good.
I might not know anything about being a public defender, but I know that the Russian border is pretty easy to get past.
Yeah, but the problem is, Tristan, is that you need to first get over the Zimbabwean border, and then the other Zimbabwean border into Zambia, and then into Botswana, and then you need to keep going, because we're at the bottom of Africa. So you need to get all the way up through the Middle East. So you need to get through Iran.
First of all, you know that things like planes exist.
Are they going to let you on a fucking plane without like a...
To Serbia? I'm pretty sure there's some war-torn areas that I can just sneak through. Claim I'm Russian with dyslexia. They will understand me.
So anyway, so that's the ROM side thing, which, you know, maybe not his best idea. So...
Maybe not his best idea.
Yeah.
That was... He's a fucking idiot, is what he was.
So, the next thing is acquisition time.
Woo, acquisition cost. 2 cents report here, dropping the real news.
Except it isn't actually games. It's Amazon, who we do sometimes talk about, because they tried making games. They have acquired MGM, as in the company with the lion that roars in the beginning, that owns a lot of things. So Amazon now owns James Bond, RoboCop, Rocky, Silence of the Lambs, Fargo, Handmaid's Tale, Vikings. Amazon now owns all of those.
Oh, you're done?
Yes.
Oh, well...
There will be more, obviously. It's MGM.
I mean, the thing is, I watched the Grand Tour. So, I'm happy with what Amazon has to provide in that area. I don't need them for anything else. Yeah. Really, I don't, because I pirate the Grand Tour. No, it's hard.
But I think it's one of those things that I don't know if you ever watched a movie called Oksha.
Oksha?
Oksha.
I'm not sure. I'm just enjoying the name.
So it's first off extremely depressing movie, but it's made by the same guy that made Parasite, the one that won the Oscars a while back. So it's a South Korean movie. And when that was showed at one of those film festivals, you know, like the Cannes Film Festival or whatever. You know, you get those film festivals. Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
No.
Okay, so when movies first come out, like indie movies, usually small movies, they usually do a festival circuit before they get to cinemas. So they go to various festivals all over the world, like the Cannes Festival and the other ones, the Sundance Festival. There's all of these festivals they go to. When it was shown at, I can't remember which one of these, because it's a Netflix movie, the thing, you know, comes up, the crowd booed it for 15 minutes because they are pretentious film people because they go to film festivals. So,
but what's so wrong about Netflix?
It's not real film, Tristan.
Why isn't it?
Because it doesn't go to cinemas, Tristan.
But they're trying to go to cinemas.
Festivals aren't cinemas.
Yes, but
Tristan,
would you think if they could break the festivals, they could get it in the festivals, they'll maybe get into cinema.
I don't know if you ever hear these, because I see this on fucking Twitter all the time, because it has to be some old fucking filmmaker has to make some comment about how streaming isn't real film. Steven Spielberg. What's his name? Okay, he actually made a movie for Netflix. But he was very about superhero movies. Martin Scorsese. It's basically these old, out-of-touch assholes in film who think that they're better than it. But yeah, so now that Amazon, which is also a streaming company, well, you know, Amazon Prime. So now they own MGM, which is one of the biggest film production companies. So that might shake these people up a bit, who now have to pretend that all film is not real film. which should be difficult for them.
The thing is, they're making their life a lot difficult than just accepting.
It is a fucking movie. It's a fucking movie. You know, also, when people are like, oh no, it's only a real movie if it first goes to a cinema. Like, what's his name with Tenet? I don't know if you know about this. There's a movie, a guy, very pretentious asshole, but his movie Tenet, which I think didn't actually get very good reviews, but he was like, oh, it has to be seen in a cinema. So he had to wait for the pandemic. The movie was done, but you have to wait for the pandemic to be over because it has to be seen in a cinema. I couldn't possibly just release it on streaming services like everyone else.
Because the thing is, they put direct-to-video and streaming services in the same thing, whereas it's no longer like that.
Yeah.
Because direct-to-video it's not like it's not getting seen. It's shoved in your face for 2 weeks when it arrives on Netflix.
Can you even really call it direct-to-video like you used to?
It's not.
It's a fucking streamed movie. It's just
a movie. It gets live into everyone's home.
Yeah.
Unless you cut in on the deal of the revenue from the cinemas or you have a stake in it, there's no reason for you to be sponsoring them. I think the thing is the culture of it.
It's the culture.
Yeah.
It's a pretentious bullshit film culture. It's these people trying to be like, oh, it's not real movies. But this is always...
Real movies is surrounded by bacteria and parasites.
But, you know, it's the same thing of those people who are like...
on a cum state.
But, you know, it's those people who are like, oh, the only good games are indie games. AAA can't do anything. And you're like, no, a lot of interesting stuff is done in indies. But it doesn't mean that, like, all AAAs are just shit. They are good ones.
The thing is, I've always thought that the AAAs have hit a point where they've achieved that one thing they made when they were in indie state, made them.
Yeah.
And some of them do find the next big thing to keep them going. Some of them don't. Some of them end up sticking to that one thing that got them out of the indie scene. And, you know, it's like, okay, that's your thing. That's what you're going to be known for. Like we're looking at, I hate to say this because they're fantastic games, but Metro, that 4A studio was created because they left the studio that made Stalker. And then they made the game because they wanted to. Now, their whole ambition was to make Stalker, but then they couldn't do it, so then they made Metro. And now the thing is like, eventually your idea is going to run its course. There's going to be somebody that's going to do something, and it's going to be like, you know, it's just worn out. It's like, what's that game? Notorious for being worn out. Notorious. Mario. There we go.
You forgot Mario. Okay. Only possibly one of the most famous game franchises.
Yeah, but you understand, they're still sticking to that one thing that got him out of India. I mean, like, if E.T. had worked, who knows, maybe, who was it, Atari might have been able to have their Mario. Maybe their Mario was going to be E.T. and they just got a bad game.
I think Atari actually is still around. Did you know that?
Aren't they making those pachinko machines?
No, that's Konami.
Is that Konami?
That's Konami, not Atari. Atari, the latest game I know about from them, they made another Alone in the Dark game. They own Alone in the Dark. I don't know if you've ever played any of them.
No.
They're not good. But they released one which was, first off, hilarious, because I just remember because Jim Sterling did a video about it, and it's called, and I still remember this because it was called Alone in the Dark Illumination, which, first off, if you're alone in the dark, it's not illuminated. And also, the other thing is that it's a co-op game, which means you're not alone in the dark. Which is just beautiful.
That's like them doing Dead Space, and then Dead Space 3, you spend the first half of the game in space, and then you're no longer in space. You're not dead in space.
Yeah, that's great. And then maybe if they made a fourth one, you wouldn't be fighting dead creatures anymore. You'd just be fighting regular things.
Speaking about Bioshock 4, have you heard about it?
No.
Oh. So, you know, there's a number that comes after Infinite now.
Yes. Yes. God.
I thought they were always one and the same. So I'm like, okay, so you called yourself Infinite, and now you got possibly a Bioshock 4. And also, finally, the Dying Light 2 has come to Steam. Pre-order is not ready.
Is it?
Now, I'm not saying go pre-order. Don't pre-order, obviously.
Never pre-order
The
anything.
chant is there, don't pre-order. I'm saying that now they're taking people's money, which means they must be at a state where they could possibly survive a lawsuit.
Yeah.
So now at least we got some news about them making some progress. Maybe it's because now there's the Dying Light Game of the Year edition, or there's like a Mega Deluxe Final Ultimate Badass now that it's coming out. And I believe that the price of it has dropped. Like with the Steam sales now, like the prices are dropping, and it's like the one thing I saw was Dying Light 2 is now ready to pre-order, and I was like, okay, well, that's the first bit of news since the last thing with the whole kerfuffle with what was going on what's it? I'm thinking of them now. Techland,
yeah,
yes.
with
yes.
Dead Island.
Because I heard that Techland was out, and then another company jumped in,
yeah,
and then another company jumped. No. I'm thinking
of Dead Island too,
because that's Jaeger jumping out.
Yes,
and then...
Well, it was first Techland, and then Jaeger was supposed to do it, and I was really excited because Jaeger's one looked quite fun.
No, at that moment during that time, you had a Jaeger boner because Spec Ops: The Line had just released,
but also that music video.
You had sand in your butt.
Yeah.
You were just
that video.
So happy.
That video though, the trailer that they did for Dead Island 2, where it's like the guy jogging, but he turns into a zombie while is fucking wonderful. And that game isn't going to exist anymore.
Yeah, well... StarCraft Ghost.
See, it's your shame. Poor little puppy. So anyway...
they really need to, like...
They don't care about you, Tristan.
Blizzard really needs... They got Activision right there. They just need to make a first person... In the StarCraft... I'm not asking for a StarCraft game. I'm asking for a game based in the StarCraft universe.
Maybe you want one like that... there was that...
No, don't.
That Command and Conquer first-person shooting.
Oh, Renegade, yes. Yeah. I thought you were going to bring up fucking Fire Warrior.
Oh, no.
Jesus Christ. That is like... I was so pissed off. But, yeah, no. Yes, I enjoyed Renegade. Like, I was one of those people that... If you go back and play it now, it's great. I've got it there on the shelf. It is phenomenal. I loved it.
It's in a package with multiple ones in it. It's like a collection, isn't it?
No, I got the standalone game.
I either bought it from you or from somebody else. That it was like all of them.
No, I think I think Mikhail had the pack.
I think it's Mikhail, yes.
Yeah. So,
and also one of you, I borrowed a Star Wars.
That's sitting over there.
Yeah,
that was me.
Back in the day when you could like borrow things.
Yeah. When they still came with CD, space for a CD-ROM. But yeah, so I was just thinking like they could do it. I mean, look at man, I get so jealous of like the Warhammer 40K franchise, not because I like the game and I can't play it, because I'm not affording the actual pieces.
The actual pieces.
But it's not about that. It's that they are so spoiled with games with choice. Yeah. They're so spoiled for choice. I mean, I don't even like 40K. Yeah, I'm playing fucking Deathwing. And I'm like, I fucking love this. This is such a cool idea. Space Hulk Deathwing. And I'm like, I'm over the moon. Thinking like, if this was only a Space Marine suit, but it is a space, but not that... You understand what I mean?
Yes, I understand what you mean.
And then you had the Space Marine.
Yeah.
The Dawn of War Space Marine. And that was fucking awesome. I tried to enjoy Fire Warrior. I didn't. But you understand what I mean? It's that they're so spoiled on choice, whereas anybody that wanted to do anything else inside the StarCraft universe, they can't. And then with how number 2 ended, they went Star Warsy. They started putting fantasy in my sci-fi.
Best face you ever made.
It's like watching Battlestar Galactica and then Doctor Who shows up. It's fucking criminal, man. I hate it when they take something that's pure sci-fi and then for the sake of appealing to people, they cartoonify it and they turn it more fancy, because the one thing that was really great about StarCraft 1 is that the visuals were all trying to be as realistic as possible. I know the cinematics are fucking terrible. There's this one scene where the Marines are planting a bomb on a science vessel, and then they get surrounded by Zerg and they start firing, and the one guy is holding this gun, but his hand is far away from the gun, but it's obviously attached. So it's like he's firing, he's going dug 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 dug, and it's one of the greatest animes. Please, if you're listening to this on YouTube, please just look up that scene on StarCraft 1. It is like if you're an artist, 3D artist, 2D artist, you'll cringe at how they try to do something. And back then you're like, oh my god, these cinematics. I mean, the Warcraft 3 cinematics were like, mwah.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, they stood the test of time, so much so that they even reused them in Reforged. But besides that, you look at it and it's like the StarCraft cinematics are terrible. Obviously, StarCraft 2, hands down, one of like masterpieces of cinematic game content, I would say. But the StarCraft 1 things, Blizzard knew what they wanted.
Yeah.
They just needed the tools to make it better. But there's that scene where the gun is just floating, man, and his hand is here, and it's just do, 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 do. And I'm like, I've always thought about that on space stations. It's not very wise to fire your gun.
Yeah.
But yes. Sorry, that was a little bit of a rant that I had to.
It's all good.
That I had to have because we need a game. I would gladly, if I had a studio, go to Blizzard and be like, hey, don't pay me, just loan me the rights.
You know, though, when you said the whole they adding fantasy to your sci-fi, it's kind of, I know you didn't enjoy Game of Thrones yourself.
No.
But this is my thing with Game of Thrones.
Well, it's not that I didn't enjoy it, it's that I just didn't feel like watching it.
Yeah. Well, with me...
excuse to the people there. I was like, yeah.
No, well, fuck it, if you don't care for it. Fuck other people.
Exactly how I felt about Attack on Titan. I was like, it's interesting, but I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, well, that's like with that series anime, 7 Deadly Sins. I tried to like it and I got bored.
I watched the first season and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched like 3 episodes.
But at the same time, I was watching something that was vastly superior.
Yeah, you see that happen.
I think it's just one with these assassins. I fucking can't remember.
But anyway,
brilliant.
Game of Thrones. My thing with Game of Thrones that I loved about Game of Thrones in the beginning was that I was like, this is like, it's like a fantasy world, but there isn't really any magic. At the end, end of season 1, they introduced dragons, which I was like, no, it still feels like they're just creatures in this world. They're not magical. They're just creatures that exist. And then like magic started being introduced, and I was like, oh, you're adding like fantasy to my fucking like. Yes, it is a fantasy series, but I was just like my whole thing with like the White Walkers, like the zombie things. In the beginning, they're kind of mysterious, and I was like, maybe they're not actually zombies. They're just like people that use that to scare. It's like a scare tactic. Turns out they actually are fucking zombies. And I was like, that's far less interesting. They're literally the most uninteresting part of the entire fucking series.
They kind of threw Aragon into there.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're just like the most generic of generic fantasy stories.
I was very...
It's also how I felt about...
That's so much promise.
When I watched Merlin, obviously. It's also The Witcher, where it started out being like... Magic was a law system rather than whimsical. I can do what I want, and everything had its place.
Yeah, and
then it got like, okay, cool, and they didn't abuse. I mean, there was obviously those parts where magic was used a lot, but I never felt like it was getting in the way of the fantasy.
Something that I liked about him, Sapkowski, the writer, that he said when he first like wrote The Witcher, he said, if there were like a world with monsters, you know, wouldn't someone who like hunts monsters be like a professional? Like that's his job. He's been like trained to fight monsters. That's like his profession. And I'm like, I like that it's like you took like a realist perspective on it. You were like, it's not gonna be like magical fantasy, or it's more like he's got a job and he's like always doesn't have money because he has to like move from place to place. Although one
story
thing,
of my childhood, yes.
Yeah, although the thing which I've always found hilarious about like The Witcher though is you're like, apparently he's like discriminated against, and you're like, you mean sexy man with white hair and like cat eyes and somehow gets all the chicks? Yes, very discriminated against person. I don't know. It was a very.
But you get that hard in the games. You get that you get it really like.
Well, to a point, but it's still everyone is still just kind of very.
But what I like about the
Fine
games is
with
that
you.
eventually they actually like, oh, well, you're not so bad.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I'm like, I think it could have been done better, but whatever. So, shall we move to the final?
Oh yes, yes.
Our good friends EA and FIFA. As I said, we'll do FIFA again.
You put it top spot.
Oh yeah, because it's fun. So, FIFA, as it's also known,
in the old country.
In the old country, FIFA. So.
You know, our old country is a lot more fucked up now. It's not like the British old country. It's South African's old country.
Yeah, that's great. So, the good old FIFA, they decided, well, a couple of years ago, they decided, you know what really makes money? Not selling games, but rather microtransactions. And they've kind of tried to funnel people into this one particular mode in the FIFA games called Ultimate Team, which I've heard about quite a bit because it's horrible. But basically it's like you pay for like cards and it's like very, pay. Very expensive. So constantly funneling people. And it also funnels, for instance, the FIFA games have an age restriction of 3 on them. Like the box says 3+. So it's not like they're hiding
gambling,
this. It's gambling for children. And then people's bank accounts have literally been cleared up, which we've spoken about before, so we're going to talk about that again. But they have made $1.6 billion last year.
On just that.
Ultimate Team.
Jesus.
So that is... So, like, they don't even need to do games.
That's disgusting.
So, so literally, it's not a game. It's literally just...
Gambling.
It's gambling. And they're like, it's not gambling. I'm offended by the implication. How? Which is kind of what, and then you'll get like these countries, especially like say Scandinavian countries, I think, like we're like, no, it's gambling, and they banned them.
Yeah.
And then EA's like, how? And I know also there was a thing where EA tried to put them back into a game after they'd been banned, and the government was like, no, you can't just put it back in, and they tried to take the country to court because they were like,
it's a different product.
We're giving our people, our customers, choice. It's about choice. It's not gambling. Choice. It's freedom of speech.
God.
And they will use any excuse that they can. So I could see you wanting to say something there about this.
My nephew is big into soccer.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You've told me before, yes.
He big into PES, big into FIFA. Now he has
both.
FIFA. Yeah. He plays PES on his phone.
Okay.
And then he plays FIFA on his Xbox 360.
Nice.
And then when my brother's over, he will play FIFA on my brother's PlayStation 4. So he's very big into his FIFA. And do you know how we managed to stop that? That whole thing of
the
microtransactions. He's only allowed to play, when it comes to those games, he's only allowed to play crack games.
Although
his 360 is cracked, and I'm pretty sure my brother's PlayStation is chipped. The only other game he's allowed to play is Fortnite, but that's because Nicole plays with him and she keeps him in check.
I think though also one of the things, because this to me has always been like fascinating. People have their like credit card will be linked up to the thing.
Why?
So and that's when I'm like, why would you do that? Like me, like Steam. I don't have my card. It's not on Steam. I do the thing where I buy the
the wallet.
Yeah, the wallet.
You
I'll
fill
be
up
like,
the wallet.
I'll be like 300 rand, 600 rand, whatever I want to do. I'll do that because I'm like, I'm not putting my fucking details on Steam. I'm like, And I'm like, if you have a child and you can literally just say buy and it just automatically buys, don't do that. And it's actually, if it's a loss to put in your details every time, it is, but that will stop you from doing impulse buying because you'll go, do I want to take out my card?
Do you know what stops me from doing impulse buying?
Not having money?
Being poor. That's one of them.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I never save my information, and I keep my cards away from my computer.
Yeah.
So now it's double less.
It's a huge hassle because you're just like, I have to like get the card, and then I have to do the thing where like I look at the card and I type, and then I have to make sure I've done it right, and I have to flip the card over and type in the CVV number, and I'm like, oh, this is such a loss. Just rather, I do this twice a year.
Wait for that pack to come out.
Yeah, I'm just like, no.
Humble bundle.
But that's like the thing. I'm like, because, no, don't link up your card to any accounts. Don't do that. It's dangerous. It's going to make you want to buy things. Because it's so easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is coming from a guy that writes all his passwords in a notebook.
A physical notebook. The people who hack places are different than the people who break into places.
What if the person that broke into the place...
Do you really think a hacker is going to break...
Is a hacker, but because of load shedding, he couldn't make his daily quota. So you had to resort to the physical
I like
means.
the idea that like a hacker is going to be the same person who tries to break into a house.
Oh, it's the same thing.
They're hacking locks.
Well, to be fair, a lot of the stuff is digital nowadays on home security, so you're more likely to get a hacker breaking into your house. Except that
we're South Africans, so they're like, oh, damn it, I've been foiled by keys again.
Which is funny because I've always thought like it's a really great idea to, like the Fort Knox locks. Everybody has them.
Yeah.
Right? There's a little hole in there, right? There's a little hole in there that some people claim that the hole is there to allow the water to not get stuck in the lock and to fall out. Others claim no, if you stick a pin or a paperclip in there, will open up, right? My thing is this. I've always looked at these gates and fences and I've thought, why even bother with the lock when the fucking chain or the handle is rusted enough to just break it off without the lock? Like, I've seen some like thin-ass chains on a gate and you're just like, with this big-ass lock on it.
No, to me, the better thing is when you see these ones where it's like a waist to chest height wall, but it has a lock on the gate.
But people around here, it's the wind. It's for the wind.
And it's like a wooden gate, and you're just like, I could just step over the gate.
Actually, I thought about it. That's not to deter criminals. It's to keep out the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Because foiled by doors again.
Because they're not going to climb over the fence. That's a criminal charge.
But yeah, that's actually true. It is breaking into private property. But yeah, whenever I see those little gates, I'm just like, oh, who are you fooling?
Like yours, that doesn't fucking lock.
I have a door,
and a gate on the door.
I have a security gate
and the destroyer constantly watching.
Exactly, and also my dog, who's, as you know, very dangerous, vicious, currently coughing.
Can you smoke screen? No, shame.
She's dangerous.
No, she's very dangerous.
She is.
She will steal your heart.
She will. Well, I think that's pretty much it for today.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what have you been up to? What have you been playing? What have you been doing?
I was making videos. I was trying to get that done, which now the one is up. It's all about ethics, and it's fun. I enjoyed it. It's depressing.
Good.
Which is my thing.
Yeah, good.
Depressing is my thing. And the next video is also actually already done, which is good. I feel it's about the Bibli, as you know. This one is numbers. Numeri, as it is in Afrikaans. Also, I actually did a thing because I'm a crazy pedantic person, so I keep track of how many words I've written on the Bible. Mostly because I want to use this with people Christians who might try to
don't read the Bible,
who claim to, and then because it's one of those things like I only bring out the elitist stuff when someone's being a dick to me. I'm only a dick to people who are dicks to me, kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Except for you, you're different, but you know what I mean. In like general, like I won't talk about religion with people Unless they start talking to me about religion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't talk to you about religion, just...
Yes, and if you start talking to me about then I will maybe become a little bit hostile. But I have written now so far 25,000 words on the Bible. And I'm like, you know what? I think I know more than most Christians about the Bible. What do you think? Think I know it?
I particularly like Genesis.
My video, or you just mean the book?
The band.
I don't, you know what? No, I don't even think Phil Collins is that good a drummer.
I don't, but I love his voice. That voice is so iconic. It gets me every time.
And now we just need a Phil Collins and God collaboration on YouTube. And then they're going to create something together. A new world. Called Philly. But yeah, so Bubbly is done. And I've been shitting around on Twitter, because shitting around is always fun. I replayed Bulletstorm because I needed to get footage.
I saw that, yes.
Yes, which is fun. I love Bulletstorm. And next, I don't know yet. I'll have to see what I'm playing. But yes. Also, to everyone, because it came out a couple weeks ago, but it's fucking great. And if you haven't seen it, it's on the Netflixes. Love, Death, and Robots. Have you seen Love, Death, and Robots? Have you? Did you enjoy it?
No.
You didn't enjoy Love, Death, and Robots?
No, it's not my thing.
Did you only watch season 1, or did you also try season 2?
I didn't even get... I don't think I finished season 1, but I did start watching it.
Okay, because you know every episode is like a different studio.
I know.
Okay,
and
cool.
that really jarred me so much that I was just like, no.
You should rather see it as a collection of shorts by different people. Because that is what it is. It's like I see it as kind of like much more short form Black Mirror.
No, I'm happy with not watching it. I'm good.
But Black Mirror is good.
No comment.
You don't like Black Mirror?
I've seen a lot of stuff, and to be honest, I think my tastes have soured a bit. I won't be like I watch stuff with laughing tracks in it, but I'm more along the lines of I'm comfortable now. I'm getting older. I'm getting to know that what I'm comfortable with and what I know I'm just not gonna like.
Okay.
I mean, I like the first season of what's the one where they could swap meat bodies.
Altered Carbon.
Yes,
I haven't seen it, but
I watched the first season of that. Reminded me very much of your
thank you.
of your story there. And when I watched the second season, and they made the character so that they could put in any protagonist, any actor playing him or her at that point, because you could switch genders, you could do what you liked in that. And they came up with a story that allows him to make any story. Yeah. So long as the premise is, it's still the same guy. Yeah. Like Doctor Who.
Well, I like that.
So I understood why, but I was like, I like the first one. Yeah, because obviously the actor is not going to act like the guy did before them. They're going to try and do their interpretation of it, and then that's justified by being he's in another meat suit. He is trying to be someone else in order to further his hunt. And I was like, okay, cool. Gotta see the chick's tits. I'm happy. It was worth the wait.
I'm glad.
There's one thing about Altered Carbon is that if you see a woman in there, you're gonna see her tits. I guarantee it.
Well, so long as you enjoyed yourself. But yeah, that's all I've been up to. Yeah. That's about it. And yourself? You still working on your thing?
Yes, I actually got a nice bit of coding done today, so I was pretty happy. I've actually been feeling more and more positive about our game, thinking that right now with working on an RPG, laying down some future framework for my tabletop simulator. But I was also thinking, the requirements for a first-person shooter of what we had is starting to become more realized in my head as I'm starting to understand the code and working with it. But other than that, me and the wife have been playing Dead Space 3. I know I shat on it, but it's because I've been playing it recently. Because two friends of ours played, and they had a good time. They started sharing stories, and I remember that we had played it, but I had to finish it alone, and she didn't finish it. So we started it again. We're back at the same place where we quit last time, so hopefully I want to kind of push it so we can
Yeah.
eventually finish the game. Because I finished it. Obviously, I understand like there's a lot of things where you like these devs really just didn't have the enough time with this game.
No,
like
that happens.
reusing, literally inverting entire maps and justifying it as a new location.
Yeah.
With a little bit of changed props around. So I understand they had a hard time.
I think also whenever something's like can be co-op, I think that they do kind of do that because often when you are playing co-op, you don't really notice because you're often talking to the other person. All games are better when you're playing with someone else a lot of the time.
I think Dead Space 3 for me hurts the most because I realized that I love the game mechanics. I love the way the character moves, the weight of the character, the way you aim, the way you fire. It's very much how I expect Resident Evil to be if Resident Evil didn't make you stop to shoot.
Well, that's only like Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, but you understand. Like back then, I didn't get into Resident Evil because that was, and also the static camera. But that was the thing back then. But I really like how they made how Dead Space plays. Really love it. The space feels heavy. The suit feels good.
I also did enjoy it.
I hate Dead Space 3 for what they did with the suits.
Yeah.
Because my OCD doesn't allow it. Because what you do is you can have your suit and then you have your co-op companion suit. But then they don't use the same models to try and liven it up. So if you have, for instance, the archaeologist suit, your suit will look like the original intended archaeologist suit. But your partner's suit is not the archaeologist suit, but instead the Arctic suit. And the Arctic suit is their archaeologist suit. So it's like you normally move from cooler armor to cooler armor. So they were like, okay, cool armor, shitty armor, and you're just cooler. And I don't know why, because the thing is, it's not like they don't have their own color schemes. They have their own colors, so why can't you release them both with the same model? And it pissed me off.
Just different colors.
It was unnecessary. But I've been playing that. I also, when she was in hospital last week, I was streaming Metro for her. So I was playing Metro.
Okay.
And because she tried it, she couldn't do it.
Oh, shame.
So I was streaming my playthrough of Metro for her. And then now she wants to watch me play, Cooking Simulator.
Okay.
So she wants to watch me prepare meals instead of sitting downstairs
and
watching me prepare meals.
Well, anything that's fun. At some point, I also want to actually start streaming at some point in the future. I'll have to see.
Whoever's listening, if one person listens, right? How will we know you're there? Give us a dislike. That's how we know that someone is listening.
There we go.
You know, it's not just me and me on another account and me on another account giving likes. If someone is out there listening to this, give us a dislike. Let us know. Put down in the comments your experiences with a great series that went bad. Mine has to be so far Dead Space. Really soured the.
Yeah, it's not a game, but a series that starts it out. Well, amazing premise, just bad execution. Revolution.
I didn't play it. What is
the series?
Oh, the series. Yes.
Amazing idea. The whole world with no electricity.
But the justification for it was a little bit
that was fucking stupid. No, but that was my thing. I was like, don't explain why.
Yeah, just leave.
It can just be a story in that world in which electricity just stopped.
No, but you have to admit that main character all of a sudden now she has superpowers.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of that was done really badly.
Yes.
But great idea, shitty execution.
Stupid ass protagonist. No, she was dumb. No, I'm not trying to hate her. She made some pretty stupid choices.
Yeah, well, they all. Well, also, I mean, a lot of them made just bad decisions. Although one guy who was great, two guys who were great, was Gus. I don't know his name in the series, but Gus from Breaking Bad. His character is great and very different to Gus.
Learn the man's name.
I will. I know
it's
Giancarlo something.
Yeah.
Or something Giancarlo. One of them. And then the guy who's the head of the militia thing. He's
the uncle.
Is he the
I think it's the uncle.
No, not him. The other one, the one who's like the bad guy head.
Yeah, the one that they joined. They both made, and then
yes, I loved him. He was great.
He was weird.
Monroe.
Yeah, Monroe. Yes, because he had the Monroe Empire.
Yes,
big ass M's everywhere.
I loved him. Like before and after, because I think at first he was just basically an unhinged leader, and then he started like becoming more human kind of thing. And I was like, I really like this. Everyone else was really disappointed, and everything else about it was disappointing. Yeah. Such a cool world. God, you fucked up so badly. Like, and actually, when I actually said this to Nina when I spoke about it, and I said, the setting would be amazing for a game, because like imagine like a Fallout style, like a wasteland. You can just explore, and just little stories all over the place. I'm like, that would be perfect for this world. Instead, they made it into a series of shit.
You know what's going to happen if they had to make it now? There will be crafting in the game. There would be crafting because it is a survival, because you put the world in an apocalyptic state. So there's going to be crafting. Now, to what extent? Are we talking Minecraft levels of terraforming, or are we talking just basic find some scrap and build something nice?
I wouldn't want any building. Don't do it.
Okay. Would it be MMO? Because you're damn sure it's going to be co-op.
No, because that would be a failure. Because look at Fallout 76.
Yeah, but it could rust.
Just make something like Stalker. Big, empty, fucking scary, horrible world.
And populated with players. Like Nether. No, but the thing is...
Just ruining everything I want out of my imaginary game.
Can I make my point here, though?
Make your point.
It fucking is. It is ruining it. to shove craft, you put that fucking 10 toolbar tile system at the bottom of every of my fucking games.
Then don't do that. Just do it like Stalker.
Exactly, but you know it's going to have crafting.
I know.
You know it's going to have drop boxes that spawn around the map. Yeah. You know people are going to be camping
This is why it needs to be made by an indie.
Even then, they're still doing it.
I know they will, but they're less likely to do it than maybe, hopefully.
No, they're less likely to have the infrastructure to support microtransactions. That's it.
There we go. Well, that would be good.
Yes, but once they get a good enough run...
Because you know what would happen? A world with no electricity? How would the AAAs... You can get electricity. That would be like their loot boxes.
No.
Like electricity that you can get.
No, it wouldn't.
To power things.
It wouldn't.
What would it be?
Steam. They already had that whole town, remember? Sorry, it wasn't a town, it was another state that was already ahead of them with the Steam revolution that was going to there. Steam cars and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think if it had to be by a AAA corporation, it would be a battle royale. Secondly, it would be more like...
Ruin my fantasy to something.
It would be a battle royale where it's spontaneous. It's not you wait for a lobby, you go in, you drop from the sky, you fight, someone dies, all of you die, one of you wins. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be where you're exploring the world, and all of a sudden, boom, you're in. There's now a trigger system, and then you're inside the world doing a battle royale, and only the survivor will get the reward and be able to cross.
Maybe it'd be something like DayZ.
You need to watch a video that I watched regarding all of those games. Even as DayZ, even if I had to make it as realistic as Arma 3, what I'm saying is it's going to have co-op.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a standalone. And I guarantee you, even if it does have a single player campaign, its focus is going to be the MMO aspect of it, because it's a world for exploring.
Yeah.
Then you can add crafting, you can add achievements, you can add, now people are finding stuff, you can add rare things, and if people don't want to go hard for the rare things, you can add a mini game that allows players to try and, by sheer chance, acquire these as long as they pay a fee. And you're going to have the grinding walls, because to advance the Steam Age, and most of the time it's going to have accessibility to mobile.
You know what I'm just going to do? I'm just going to replay Stalker.
Please don't.
It seems to. How dare you? I love Stalker.
No, but there's other things that you need to play now. I've been trying to get you into Divinity for a while now, and you have to play it.
I do.
And stop being I want to play number 1.
I have to play number 1 first.
No.
I also, on my PC, there is Pillars of Eternity, which I also still need to play because it's there already. And I played 10 hours and then other things happened. Because that happens.
If you don't, I am breaking into your house, toasting all your bread and putting it back in the packet.
I mostly toast my bread.
Yeah, but this is going to be
old,
stale
gross
toast.
On that toast, should we wrap up?
Yes, Jeremy, let's go. Because we can say he can't. And on that bombshell.
So, yeah, I'm the LC Lupus person.
And I'm the guy that shall not be named.
Yeah, Tristan. LC_Lupus on Twitter. If you want to see me bitching about things. Usually
Definitely go check him out though.
But I think I'm funny.
I think you're funny. No.
And I sometimes link to things and then I go, yeah. You know, that's my kind of thing. I did literally do a tweet today that was just, I literally just read, that was my tweet. But it was linked to an article that was just funny. I do not remember what it was about.
So it came out of the arse end of the bird instead of the front end.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's my contribution to Twitter. It's just occasionally.
To society.
And then I'll see Lupus on YouTube, where I make videos about sad topics like ethics. Because I'm like a cool gamer guy who does video games.
It's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, you know, games. They're like cool.
Are you done? Because I'm fucking. Take care, everyone. Until next time. And always remember,
I love you.